everyone, this is Caitlin here at Constant Contact. Thanks so much for joining me today for our live stream. Today I'm going to be talking about a new feature here in Constant Contact that's going to help you eliminate mistakes and send your email with confidence. Sending an email can definitely be nerve-wracking, especially when you're just getting started with Constant Contact. Mistakes in your email can be costly, not to mention frustrating for your readers, and they make your business look unprofessional as well. So how do you send an email that represents your organization and is error-free? Well, by using our new Check for Errors option to eliminate several types of mistakes and to allow you to send with confidence. It looks like we may have a few people who are just joining us, so allow me to introduce myself again. My name's Caitlin, and we're talking today about the new Check for Errors feature here in Constant Contact. So thanks for joining us. So this feature is available in all accounts, so let's go ahead and dive in and see how it works. This Check for Errors feature checks for many common mistakes throughout your email. Specifically, it looks for default content such as placeholder text, empty images, and video placeholders. It also checks for missing URLs on buttons, social media icons, and placeholder link text. And for those of you who use the RSVP or Eventbrite action blocks, it's going to check for dates in the past as well, which those options you'll see only if you have the Email Plus package. So now that you know what it looks for, let's see where to go ahead and find it. So I'm logged into my Constant Contact account here. And we do need to be in the edit mode of an email to find this feature. So we'll just do this Cycling Club promo right here. So I have some content in this email and I'm thinking of getting ready to send this out. So before I send it, I'm going to try out this Check for Errors feature. So I'll go ahead and click here. And here it is right here, Check for Errors. So I'll click on that. And now in this menu on the right, you can see it looked for three things: links, content, and dates. And it found something in each category. So let's go ahead and see the mistakes that it found. So for the links, it checks for the missing and invalid links, and I have a missing link, so let's click on that. You'll see it jumps to the missing link in the email, and it even put a little red box around it for me. So to fix this, I'll just click on it, click on link, and we'll just link it up to a web page. Definitely, there's nothing in there. I definitely left it blank, so good thing it found that error, because we want people to click on that button. So I'll just paste in a link here, insert it, click done. Now you can see I have a nice green check mark in our links category. So all my links are good to go, and now you don't have to worry about them not being linked anywhere. All right, so with the content, it'll check for the default content, anything that's missing. And it found a placeholder image where I didn't include an image. So let me click on that. And here it is, jumped up to this placeholder, put the red box around it. If I scroll through here, it looks like I already put in a picture. I just must have forgot to delete this then. So I'll just click on it and hit the trash can. Now we have a green check mark for content. Now for the dates, it's going to check my action block dates, and it found something here, so let's see what that is. It found the RSVP block here. It looks like it has some past dates, October 1st and 2nd. That was a couple days ago, so or even last week I think it was. So that is wrong. So if I want to fix this, I'll click on it and click on edit. Definitely change the dates here. You can see it already put in a future date, so it won't even let me re-add it back in with the past date, so that's good. But I can go through and edit this, save it if I want, Or I could actually cancel out of this. I don't even need an RSVP. This must have been left in here from a past email that I copied and I just forgot to delete it, perhaps. I'm going to click on that and we'll just delete it. And now you can see over on the right side I have a nice big green check mark here saying that there were no more issues found. So all of my technical errors have been fixed here in the email. Now, before you send an email, it's definitely important to review it for yourself as well. The Check for Errors tool does a great job looking for those technical errors and things that are missing, but you still want to read through it yourself. And there's a good way to do it back here under this menu, our Preview and Test option here. So in the preview of the email, you can do a few things. You can click on your links to make sure they work, buttons, social media buttons. You can also, it's just a nice way to pull up your text, read through that, make sure everything looks okay. I can come up here to mobile. The template's mobile responsive, all of them are. So if I click here, I can now see what it looks like on a mobile device. What it does is it usually stacks things that are next to each other and just puts it in a way to where it'll look good in a smaller screen. So I think that looks good too. Also on this screen, I can send a test email. So I could either send it, I'll probably want to send it to myself at a minimum, but you can enter up to 5 email addresses. And I would definitely recommend get another fresh set of eyes on it. Send it to at least one more friend, colleague, someone that can read through the text and every other part of the email. Check those links and make sure it looks okay. Make sure to check it on your own phone, on your own computer, and check it all out there. This personal note is just for the test send. If you wanted to type something to your colleague, like please check for errors, and then you just click send now, and that'll send it. So once you go through this, if you find any errors to fix and are just done previewing it, you'll click up here and just go back in the edit mode, fix anything you want, and then it'll be ready to send out. All right, is there anyone out there who would like to see how to send the email after this? Let's see. Yeah, it looks like at least one person, so yeah, let's take a look at that. When you're ready to send, what you'll do is click this orange continue button in the upper right. This brings us to a page where we choose who to send it to and when to send it. So I'll choose an email list to send it to. I can do more than one, or I'll just do one here, the general interest list. Here, your subject line, you can check it here, check your from name, make sure your address is filled in, and then you can choose when you want it to send. So I could send it now, it'll go immediately, or schedule for later. I can choose a future date. You can go pretty far in the future if you want. And you can also choose a time. So maybe I'll keep it on this date, but then do it later in the day, something like that. So once you set that all up, all you do is you click schedule, and now it's set to send automatically and the day and time that I choose. All right, yeah, and that's how you do that. That's how you send out an email and how you use our tools to check to make sure your email looks exactly the way you want before you send, so you can send confidently. Now, if you're looking for more information on how to create a great looking email, if you like the way our template looks here and you're wondering, how do I create something that looks like that, or if you just want tips on how to create a great looking email, check out a free webinar we have. It's called Create and Send Your First Email Campaign in 15 Minutes or Less. We have a session coming up here soon. It's an hour-long session. In that webinar, we show you how to design a master template and how to use it to send your email, which can save you a lot of time. So I'm going to have my colleague Natalie share a link in the chat window so you find the next session that works for you and you can register for that. But now I'm going to go ahead and open it up for questions. So if you haven't already, go ahead and type them in and we'll get them answered for you. So let's see what we have. Here's a good question. Does it check the subject line for default text? So it doesn't. That's not one of the things that this tool checks right now. It's something our developers plan to add, and I think they are researching the best way to add it. But at this point, we don't have a timeline on that. So that's one of those things we want to look for during that preview and test. When you send it to a colleague, when you send it to yourself, make sure to pay attention to that before you even open the email in the inbox, because of course that's the first thing you see before you even open the email. So that's a good point though, because you don't want to leave the default text. You definitely want to make the subject line unique to your email. And also, of course, spelling errors in the subject line, you don't want that at all, because then the email might not even get opened. So definitely check that out. Our tool won't do it yet, but keep an eye out for that in the future. All right, let's see. Does this tool look for spelling or grammar errors? So it doesn't look for those either, although most internet browsers have a built-in spell check. So if your browser has that, it should work within Constant Contact. It'll underline the things that are spelled wrong, and that'll give you a good indication of, the words that you need to fix. If you aren't seeing that, maybe you could do a little research in whatever browser you're using, Chrome, Firefox. Those are the ones we recommend for Constant Contact. See how to turn on the spell check, and that'll solve that problem for you. But once again, do your preview, your test, and read through it for yourself as well. All right, let's see. What if I'm not using your RSVP block? Does it still look for dates in the past? So the only thing it looks for dates on is the RSVP block and the Eventbrite block, two of our action blocks. It won't look through your text for anything that you've put in. Let me go back to Constant Contact to show you something here. Let me show you where to find those blocks so you know specifically what I'm talking about. So I'm going to unschedule this so we can go back. We'll come over here to edit. We kind of already saw the RSVP block already that I had left in there by mistake, but here's the action blocks. They're available with our Email Plus plan. RSVP and Eventbrite are the two ones it looks for. So if I click and drag in an RSVP block, this is the specific block that it looks at. Now, when I'm adding a new block, it doesn't let me add dates in the past, so that's nice. You'll really only run into the issue when you've copied a past email. It's usually the only time it comes up. The other block it checks is Eventbrite. Eventbrite is a third-party program where you can create event registrations, and we integrate with them, which I think is really cool. It's another new feature of ours, actually. So if you have Eventbrite already, you can drag in one of these blocks, and can't really see anything here now, but if I had an Eventbrite account, I'd be able to connect with it, and it pulls in the event into the email. So if I accidentally had one in here that was last week's event, it'll check for that as well and let me know that the event is in the past and that I need to delete it or find another event from my Eventbrite to pull in here. So, great question. Here's another one. What if I forget to use this feature and there's an error? Will it prevent me from sending? So no, it will not prevent you from sending. So that's one of those things. Just always get in the habit of, before you click continue, click here first, because then you'll have both options pop up right there for you. Check for errors. I usually like to do that first, just to get all the little technical things out of the way. And then you can send it to yourself, read the text, do everything else you need to do. But if you don't preview or test or check for errors, it'll let you send it out as is, however you have it set up. So just be sure to check it out. These are definitely easy ways, though, to make sure you can send it with confidence. All right, well, thanks for all of the great questions. We're going to sign off here now, but we'll keep an eye out for any additional questions and get those answered for you. And just a reminder, if you need help getting started with an email or just want some good tips on how to design a great looking email based on best practices, check out that webinar, Create and Send Your First Email in 15 Minutes or Less. It's free, quick hour-long session. Click on the link from the chat and you can find the date that works best for you. Register for that, and we'd love to see you there and give you even more tips on building great looking emails and sending them out with confidence. So thanks again for joining me. Really appreciate it. Glad I could show you this cool new feature, and have a great day.